That's like I told my my driver in Afghan. When he came down to Hico last year, he was telling me about some thoughts that he had and about Sean and how everything went down. And
No.
I didn't lie to him. We didn't lie to each other. I think we can both agree that we didn't particularly care for each other on a personal level on deployment. And I say on a personal level because there's no question in my mind that would have done something for me if it came down to it, and I would have done the same for him. But on a personal, likable level, we did not get along. In every sense of the word, get along. We did not get along. But I told him, I was like, man, if you're having trouble and you're just you're down on your shit and you just need somebody to talk to, fucking call me. And I told him, I was like, we didn't get along. We don't have to lie to each other. We didn't get along, but I still love you. You're my fucking brother. No matter what, you need somebody to talk to. I don't care if it's fucking 2 o'clock in the morning. If I'm fucking sober enough to wake up for your phone call, I'll answer your fucking phone call. And that's basically what it boils down to, man. Like DJ said, we're not brothers because we like the same type of fucking music or we get along and we have the same type of personality and everyone's fucking has the same political agreement or religious background or whatever the case may be. But we're brothers from I guess circumstance would be the right word. So I guess that's my 2 cents on the whole issue. Is there's a difference between friendship and brotherhood. And Sebastian Junger does a pretty good job of explaining this, and I can't really repeat it because I kind of forget at this moment.
Yeah, no, that was such a good book, Kev. And like when I read Brandon, what he's talking about is a guy named Sebastian Junger, and he's a 20-plus year wartime correspondent, and he did those 2 documentaries. You may have seen them. One's called Restrepo, and one's called Korengal. And I forget the army unit, but they were in the fucking Korengal Valley in Afghanistan. I forget which year. But he made the 2 documentaries of the same unit that was there at the time. And he's got this book called Tribe, which is really, really fucking, it's really good because he does draw a lot of things I agree with, but a lot of things I really disagree with. Because if he's not... He's definitely a socialist, if not a communist. You know what I mean? I believe that anyway. But at the same time, he's got this really, very strong, profound sense of, patriotism and brotherhood because of the time in the military, But is that Bailey barking in the background? Who is that? Is that Bailey?
Yeah, Bailey being an asshole.
She's going, Daddy! Daddy!
Nah, you good, man.
That's funny. No, but anyway, the guy his book is really fucking good, and he talks about why do guys miss war, and why do guys find things, when they come back from fucking combat and they're all broken, and he talks about loss of brotherhood. He really talks about that. It's not friendship. Like this isn't a friendship. You not. A lot of people don't particularly like each other. You're not fucking there, and your life depends on one another. Like your life is literally responsible, fucking, or you are responsible for the life of the fucking men next to you. You know what I mean? Literally,
yeah.
You have their lives in your hands. You're not worried about yourself, but you know that you're responsible for the lives of the men that you care about. You know what I mean? And, that's that shared, like, what people don't fucking get, what people don't understand, is when you truly are responsible for the lives of those around you, what that really means. Like, we say that, but we forget the actual significance of what we really went through, because that is a huge deal to really go through fucking combat together, as a unit, especially prolonged being together for so long and doing that. We think it's no fucking big thing, but it really fucking is, as far as the depth of a relationship, like Kevin was talking about, the depth at which you get to know a person in the, especially in our circumstances, man, is not what fucking even most people come close to. You know what I mean? So it's just, when you lose that, when you get out, that's what fucking makes you go crazy, not the combat, And Yeah, the combat sucks. And yes, the combat gives you a lot of fucking traumatic experiences and everything like that, but that deep-seated depression where a lot of guys think they can't handle it, I think mostly comes from just that loss of brotherhood, the that lack of connection, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think
that's just
Sebastian Junger. I think his exact words were, "Brotherhood is effectively, saying that you love these 19 or 13 or whatever the case may be, other people more than you love yourself."
yeah.
And I don't think anybody in the civilian world can say that,
Yeah.
other than maybe family, and that's not from my wife's family, but for some families that's true. But I mean, that's effectively. I think that's the way we all felt.
And still feel, yeah.
Yeah, and still feel. Yeah, absolutely. I think there were probably people in our platoon that had some prejudices and
Hell yeah.
prejudgments about people. I think we can all agree on that. But I don't think there was ever any question about what somebody would do for somebody else in those types of situations.
Yeah, like I told you, man, that's what and I'm not trying to dive too deep on this because obviously, that's why we go there every year, even with I think I shared with Hefner's dad actually, I shared with him that, and I often share it to certain people if I feel the vibe and stuff. But, me and Hefner, we definitely didn't get along at first and stuff. And him being from Heiko, obviously he had a little bit of neck in him and stuff that I couldn't see right then, just because like I said, you're coming from all aspects of life. But at the end of the deployment, I shit you not, man, like we first, like, we butted heads a lot, but we were on the same truck the whole time. We became, like, towards the end tight, man, started going to, like, chow together and, just talking and shit, man. And that's what it took. But out of that, I went to Heiko last time. What really touched my heart when Hefner's mom was, like, showing me pictures. I didn't even know he took that many pictures that had me in it, or, like, me right there and stuff. But like I said, throughout the whole deployment, us being in there, that was the most significant part of the of the war for me, man. It's just that connection and tragedy that had that, that did occur, obviously, because of it and shit. But I'm telling you, man, like, that's one thing I often reflect on, man, because I couldn't see that was going to happen at first. You never can see things like that. But it was one of those things that, taught me a lot about myself. And again, going back, there were people, like, they're different, like, they grew up differently, man. I mean, they grew up differently now in their situation around different people, but us being in there, we still had our own individual minds and ability to be able to, like, feel, hey, this person's actually fucking pretty dope and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then that's how you built, like, great friendships and family and stuff, man. And when that was, like I said, that was the most significant thing. And, obviously, throughout the time and stuff, and us in the beginning stages, and throughout the whole time us being there, and eventually start talking about shit and realizing we had a lot more in common than we thought. And that's what people just don't, that's what people, I feel like, just don't do now. And I feel like a lot of it is because, like, in life, it is important to care for your family and to care for the things that you got going on and stuff. But in the same sense, it's like, it's like I said, just giving a person, like, the benefit of the doubt. Like, we were in those situations that is almost unpreventable. Not almost, it was unpreventable. Like, I didn't pick the truck I was going, none of that shit. But in that sense, we're able to relate. But in life in general, man, I just think it'd be a lot fucking doper if like you mentioned, you can have a conversation. You don't have to agree on every. We don't we don't agree on a lot of things and stuff, but still have the ability to do that. And I mean, I agree. I mean, I don't feel like there's not too many other things that outside of the military, that makes it that, I guess, accessible and that easy to be able to do that, because I feel like we're in that zone and, we're all going for that same purpose and we're fighting for each other and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But nonetheless, man, like, those conversations, I told you this last time, Kevin, I think I told you that before, DJ too, man, like, conversations that we had in the past, when we talk about them, they're new again, and they always apply to our life, like, over and over and over and over and over again and shit, man. That's why it's so awesome, man. But everything else that we think of as, like, materialistic, it just gets older and shit. Conversations that we have, the deep conversations or goofing off or whatever like that, man, they always last and stuff, and they always apply to our life to keep us going.
Yeah, man, and that's like I've told both of you before. When I got out, I just dropped off the face of the earth and cut everybody out. And that's what made me realize, the thing that I really wanted the most besides my family was having my brothers back in my life. And it's the people I care about, you know, is what made me happiest. You know what I mean? Having them back and everything like that. But you know, it's you know, what happened with Sean, man, that was so rough for everybody, you know, just because of the way he got killed. You know what I mean? Of the circumstances, you know what I mean? Like that was, I mean, yeah, it's always hard, no matter what, and it's the worst thing you can experience every time you fucking, you know, one of your brothers dies, you know, because they get killed, and that always sucks, man. You know, and as many fucking, unfortunately, as many people that I know that have been killed, man, it's never get easier. But Sean's was just so particularly fucking shitty just because of the timing and the circumstances. You know how we were there for fucking, what, 3 hours, 4 hours? You know, fucking sitting around talking about fucking going home, and it was our last motherfucking mission and all that shit, you know what I mean? And then, you know, I mean, for me personally, that was, you know, one of the things, one of the reasons why I didn't go to, or I haven't gone to Heiko, man, is, you know, like when we were fucking around, when we were, you know, picking up everything that was left, you know, the first thing that I found was his little fucking picture folder with all his family fucking pictures that he had in his wallet that was on him, you know, and I don't know, man. I just, I don't want, I don't know. I don't know why I haven't gone yet. Or, I mean, I think I know why, but I don't think that's all the whole reason, you know. And I'm still kicking it around, in between the years, you know what I mean? But it is what it is, man. You know, that was just particularly shitty for all of us. It really was. You know, just because we all dealt with it just in so many different ways. Because it really fucking, man, it was just, and like, and I remember having a conversation with him, man, and it was so shitty, and just because he had just gotten there, you know what I mean? He was just our section leader for what, the last month? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, but we all just particularly took that one fucking hard, you know. So
Yeah. I mean, I took that one particularly hard on myself, and I still do have survivor skill in that aspect. It I guess Brandon dropped off, but I have a lot of survivor skill over that, and it took me a really long time to come to terms with the fact that, you know, what's done is done, and there's nothing that I can do about it now. Because, you know, when we got back from deployment, I went through counseling, and, you know, I told my therapist that I felt like it was my fault, you know, and this and that, and, you know, a therapist's job is to tell you that, you know, it's not your fault and this and that. And I remember telling her, I said, you know, you can tell me an apple is an orange all day long, but if I'm looking at an apple and I feel like I'm looking at an apple and my mind's telling me it's an apple, you can tell me it's an orange all day long, but at the end of the day, I still know it's an apple. So, you know, that's how my mind was working at the time. It kind of still does. And, you know, I found like every single success that I've had outside of the Marine Corps, I've always reverted back to, well, I don't really deserve this because Sean's not here, you know, and that's my fault. You know, I've always kind of, you know,
yeah,
gone back to that aspect of it. And, you know, I keep telling myself, you know, even when my children were, you know, I've always, you know, when you get in those like happiest moments of your life, I've always told myself like, well, it'd be great if fucking Sean was here, you know, and you know, I've always felt like some of that's my fault. And I struggled with that a lot the first couple of years I got out, and then my wife made me go back to counseling. And it was kind of like the same deal, you know, or I basically told my counselor that, you know, you can tell me all day that it's not my fault, but at the end of the day, in my mind, I still think it's my fault. And she told me that, you know, I don't understand why you're here. So, but when I first got out, I was down that road, you know what I mean? I was really low, you know, just thinking about,
yep,
you know, the whole fault that I felt like I had in the entire situation. And I think what really made me better is not accepting the fact that it wasn't my fault. I think what I came to really terms with was accepting that I probably had a partial role in that, in that situation, but there's nothing that I can do about it now, and his death would be in vain if I ended my life. And I've always told myself that I have to live for him and try to be the best man that I can because he can. And yeah, I made mistakes that day, and I can look back on those mistakes and I fucking feel awful about them. But I can't change them. We can't go back in time, and it's easy to Monday morning quarterback, and I've done that for the past fucking 8 years of my life, 8+ years of my life, and now I'm just really just getting to the fact that I gotta live for him and do what I think that would make him and his mom and his dad proud, and be successful and be the best fucking man, be the best father that I can be because he can. So I've struggled with that for a long time, and I'm sorry. The whole day was fucked up. But like I said, that's the way I feel, and like I said, I don't think I've really ever not accepted fault with it. But I've come to terms with the fact that I've made mistakes, and those mistakes are irreversible, and there's nothing I can do about that. And ending my life is not a solution.
But here's the thing, man. Regardless of whatever happened, what I have come to learn, and from my perspective, is that no matter what your actions were, I believe truly, whenever it's your time to go, it's your time to go. There's nothing you, I, anyone, anywhere can do, no matter what. If it's your fucking time, it's your fucking time, And I truly believe that. And, a lot of my fucking guilt that I still carry around, I mean, it was way worse before. But, same thing, a lot of the same survivor's guilt with Sean, feeling responsible. And it's a lot of the same thing with Eddie, you know what I mean? Because I told you when I was at your house, when I was able to visit on that trip, a lot of the guilt that I fucking had was, when Eddie got shot, because, I shouldn't have had our corpsman clearing rooms with us, you know what I mean? He shouldn't have been fucking clearing houses with us. And on top of that, just the fact that we were so vulnerable, and I kind of we were just, me and if they could have shot any better, or even the gunfight before then, the gunfight the day before, when we kind of got caught in that ambush out in the open in that field, man, like if they could have shot any better, we would have got fucking smoked, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I carried around a lot of fucking guilt for that for a long time, and just that thought of, holy shit, I could have gotten all my guys killed if guys could have just shot better, you know what I mean, if they were just better marksmen. And that shit really fucking stuck, and it still does, but just not as nearly bad as it used to, But what I had to come to terms with was, letting all of those negative fucking hindsight thoughts that I had. Oh my God, how I was responsible for this, and how could I make this, and this decision I made, and I could have. If I was letting all of those negative feelings and thoughts really affect what was happening to me right now, all the things that I have in my life right now, and I was letting that negatively affect what's happening, I was completely 100% letting down Sean and Eddie and letting what happened to them be for nothing, you know what I mean? I would just let all of my future actions make what happened to them even worse, because it's negatively affecting my life and the life of those around me, And I feel like that sin, if you will, is even worse than of what I might have done or not done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So on top of all the inner demons that I've had to fucking overcome, with alcoholism and all the fucking PTSD shit and the transitioning out and being a dad and being a fucking dependopotamus and all this shit that you just got to deal with that's in here and that's up here, man. You just, I always have to just remember to be humble, man. That's always just what I have to come back to, man. I just humility, you know, do for others, not for yourself. You know, if I'm mad and if I'm jealous or I'm resentful or if I'm whatever the negative emotion is, man, I always just try to put how others feel before the way I feel, man. And it sucks and it's hard to do. It really is. It's fucking shitty. And you feel taken advantage of, you feel fucking taken for granted, you feel a lot of things, but at the same time, man, when you really truly do for others and when you really help somebody else out and when you really truly do and that's reciprocated, there's nothing else like it. You know what I mean? When you really fucking put yourself out there and you really go out of your way to fucking help somebody who truly needs help. You know, it's like you guys fucking know, man. You know, I mean, especially Brandon, you see it where when he gets on Marco Polo, he'll be on his thing and it comes out. You know, that whatever that fucking it factor when you know what happens to you comes out of you. You know, and when you really help somebody, you know, that's exactly what the fuck it is. But yeah, you know, so it's really weird transition. You know, just having to grow as a person because you have to overcome all that shit. You have to overcome everything that's up here and that's up in here, or you don't. You either stay a victim of something that happened to you, or you move past it and progress with your life.
Right. And that's kind of
what it comes down to.
Yeah, that's kind of what I experienced, you know, like ever since, I mean, you know, I got like Bible verses and shit tattooed on me or whatever, and I was a fairly religious person going into deployment, and I kept that faith our entire deployment, you know, even with Eddie getting shot and everything, and you know, I always carried a prayer in my right shoulder pocket on our frog suit and everything, along with my death letter. But when Sean got hit, and you know, what was left over was put in the MRE box. It was like, you know, with every piece that was put in the MRE box, it was like a piece of my faith just getting thrown away in the trash, and I lost my faith for a really, really long time. You know, I got married and everything, and you know, I said my vows, but I didn't mean them in the religious sense. You know, I meant them to my wife, like I love my wife. I meant to, you know, devote my life to her, but I didn't mean them in devoting anything to or putting any stock in a God or anything like that. And you know, my wife would always try to get, when I got out, she would always try to get us to go to church and everything, and I always told her I don't really want to go, you know. And I never really explained to her why I didn't want to go until, like, you know, the first or second year, and you know, I basically broke it down for her. I was like, I've lost my faith. Like, I don't believe anymore, you know. And you know, she's really upset and everything, and she's like, you know, married me if you didn't believe in God, you know, this and that. I'm like, well, you know, this is something that I'm going through, and I just don't believe. I can't give you a reason why, other than the fact that you know what's happened to me, and I don't have an answer right now, and I don't know if I'll ever believe again. And I always tell her this, like, I legitimately think God saved my life.
I believe that.
Yeah,
I completely believe that after meeting her.
So, you know, it was about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, where I finally agreed to just go to the church. And you know, it's kind of like a more modern church where they have, like, you know, songs and shit, and they don't really like shove religion down your throat and shit. And I was just like, you know, I'm willing to go hear it and you know, to appease you. He kind of didn't understand, like, why I didn't want to, you know, just go and, you know, just believe. And I said, you know, it's not that easy for me to just go and fucking believe what this guy's telling me to do, or to believe, you know, when I've gone through these things, and I felt like my faith just got completely thrown in the fucking trash, you know. So, you know, now within the past, I don't know, maybe 6 months or so, like, I've wanted to go to church, you know. And I feel like I'm kind of on that road to getting back on a faithful path and believing in a faith, and I'm still working on it. You know, I mean, it's not something that's easy for me, and I don't think it'd be easy for any of you guys either. But it's fucking tough, man. And you know, like, I try to reason the shit in my mind, like, you know, why what happened, and how you can justify that in the faith and all these other types of things that are going through my mind, man, you know. And it's just like, I don't think my wife like understands when I tell her. Like I tell her all the time, like you saved my life, and I and but she always just kind of like blows it off. You know what I mean? Um, and she's a great lady, but I don't think she fully comprehends like what I mean when I say like you saved my life because
Mm-hmm.
there's 100% positive I would not fucking be here today without her. 100%, not a fucking question. I guarantee I would have fucking blown my fucking brains out by now. Not a question. But since then, like I said, man, I'm going to fucking church tomorrow morning. Um, I'm slowly diving back into having a faith.
Yeah.
You know, not hating on anybody that does not have a faith or whatever spiritual choice you may make, but it's something that I'm dealing with that I feel like is important to me, and that I'm slowly diving back into and trying to make sense of it. And it's difficult, man. It's fucking hard. It's hard to make sense of whatever faith you have, or even not faith. It's just difficult to make sense of the way the way the cookie crumbles. In so many
Yeah.
ways.
Why does thing happens like that, and why does it
Yeah,
happen this
exactly.
way?
Yeah, So I mean, that's something I struggle with for a long time, and I'm trying to, because she's a fairly religious person.
Well,
She's not
uh,
overly
uh,
religious, but I'm just
what
trying
happened
to
with
get back into that. So
what happened with me when I got sober. So I'm a raised and confirmed Catholic. I'm an Irish Mexican descent. Father Irish, mother's Mexican. Catholic. I've been a fucking Roman Catholic hard for my entire life. And when I got sober, um, it really was a big part of my life. I was going to fucking church every Sunday, always going to mass, going to confession. My faith was a very, very, very large aspect of my life, especially during my sobriety and especially during deployments, the times when I really fucking needed it. And then after I got out of the Marine Corps and I moved out here after my daughter was born. I really wanted to find a chapel for me and the family to go to. Well, without going into too much detail, we went to two chapels, both of which, and I'm not exaggerating, man. Like we're in Southern California, and both. I mean, it was during the summer, and Sarah and I are both heavily tattooed, and we're in Southern California. And anyway, we're going into church, and we got like, I observed noticeable, snooty, judgy looks from people, and my family has been fighting in America's wars since World War One. Sarah and her brothers combined have almost 60 years time in the military. You know what I mean? Uh, I'm going to be damned if I'm going to be part of anything or surround my family by anybody who's going to be judgmental of us because of the way we look, especially if we're in church. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And so that really turned me off, really, really, especially right after I got out, right after my daughter was born. I mean, Sarah, it means just as much to me as Autumn means to you, Kevin, as far as the, you know, saving your life thing. It's she is definitely responsible for much of the things that I love in my life today. You know what I mean?
right.
And um, well, I just couldn't fucking believe it. You know what I mean? And it really crushed my faith. But having said that, I am still extremely spiritual. You know what I mean? Like I pray to God, I talk to God throughout the day. Like when I wake up in the morning, I pray. I still have a picture of Jesus in my bedroom and the Virgin Mary. But I don't just believe in Catholicism. Like my religious beliefs now are very open. Like I choose to believe in Christianity, and I choose to believe that that's not That's one of many possible fucking truths. You know what I mean? I believe that all religions essentially revolve around the same thing. Of a universal fucking positive and a universal negative. You know what I mean? And most religions focus on life of pursuing a universal positive in reverse of a universal negative. You know what I mean? And I love religions like Norse mythology and Greek mythology and Buddhism and shit like that, man. I love the aspects of that. So I really choose to have an open mindset of really genuinely
Well,
believing in all of those things.
I got a question for y'all. Why do y'all think that most people have like a religion, or why do you think most people have like, I guess, faith in something? What do you think? Like, why do you think that? Does it keep them going on or feeling like they're living for something? I mean, if you really think about it, why do you think?
Oh man, I'll tell you this. I think that a lot of people do it because of tradition, culture, location. You know what I mean? All of the usual suspects. You know what I mean?
But I'm
But
saying they're inner them. What do you think it fulfills for a purpose for a person
well,
to have?
well, you should, man. Like for me, I can't speak for anybody else, but what I would like to believe, and that's all based off of the way I feel, is when I have experienced life, I truly feel a connection to God or your fucking elder, your ancestors, your dead family, whatever the fuck you want to describe, the supernatural, the divine. I truly feel it. I feel it. You
Yes.
feel its presence. You know what I mean?
Now, not to
And
cut you off, and that's why I want to
yeah,
just really quick. When you just said that, and this is what I want to say. That what you just said is what I want to say, man.
yeah.
Seriously, because it's crazy to think, man, that these things, whether it's your cultural beliefs or wherever you at as a human being when you're born, you're eventually get to the point where you feel. I feel like you just said, like you feel something, like you said, you just feel it. You know what I'm saying? And whether it is labeled as universe, God, Buddhism, like anything else, it's just something that's automatically in the inner being of us in our souls and shit like that. You know what I'm
And
saying?
I don't believe it's an emo. I do not. Even though I say a feeling, I don't think it's an emotion. Like I don't look at it
I
as an
know. It's
emotion.
like it's a. What do you look at it? It's like it's undescribable almost, right? I mean, if you look at it, like you
It's
can describe it as so many things, but the feeling would be undescribable because it's so many things.
dude. So this is the discussion, like Jordan Peterson and Ben Shapiro actually talked about it, but they were talking about using psychedelics, LSD, acid, all that shit, and when they were doing experiments because they were talking about the connection between science and religion and how they connect, and whatever that fucking sphere is between like consciousness and dreams and tripping, whatever that state is that people go into, like that's an actual thing, and that's where they think that religion and science kind of meet up. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I think, man. It's not an emotion, but you I think you truly feel if you could apply being able to feel the connection and purpose between people. Like, yes, this is absolutely right. Like, we're supposed to connect. Like, life, made us destined to be together. You know
Right.
what I mean? However cheesy that is, like, we're in our spot. You know what I mean? Like, this is it.
But but do you agree that can't be taught, right? I mean, do you think that could be that natural, like you said, natural connection? That this is where it's supposed to be. Can that be like, you know what I'm saying? Can that be taught or labeled as anything besides what it's supposed to be?
I can say this, and sorry for interrupting.
No, you good.
But like I said, I lost my faith for a really long time. And the first time that I prayed for God, I guess it was 7 years, was when my daughter June was born, about 9 months ago now. They pulled her out of my wife, and she made like 2 really small cries, and she stopped breathing, and then they had heart stop, and they had to do chest compressions on her. So, my wife had a C-section, so she's sitting there, she can't feel shit, and that was the first time that I found out that I kind of came back to my faith. Was I started praying in my head, to God or some higher being to say, if you're out there, I need your help. My daughter's not breathing. They're doing chest compressions on her. I need my daughter to live. So I mean, I don't know what makes anybody feel that, but I guess for me was the helplessness of it, and maybe for the belief of I guess divine intervention. Something that has to be in charge of all this of life and all creation.
Right.
There has to be some type of higher power that has made all of this. I mean, if you think about the vastness of the universe and everything, it's kind of crazy for me to just think that it just happened. You know what I mean? Like if you think about
Totally.
how the fuck does the universe even exist? Like how?
Oh my God! Remind me to remind what. Okay, yeah, keep going.
It's just like how the fuck does the universe even exist? Did it just appear out of nowhere? I mean, you can get so far into it. The vastness of outer space and whatever the case may be. But you can get so far into it. But at the end of the day, it has to be. I think a lot of people, myself included, there has to be some type of higher being or higher power that decided to create all of this. I just don't think that it came out of nowhere. And
Totally.
I would not have said the same thing 3 years ago. But I'm saying it now because, like I said, when my daughter was born, she stopped breathing and she lost her heartbeat. So it's really kind of what started to bring me back to my faith.
And imagine if we was getting looked down upon, right? I mean, like physically compared to the universe, we're very small, but our mind and our ability to do whatever is so big. You know what I'm saying? As individuals, you know what I'm saying? So I totally agree with that, man. I feel like it's almost to the point where it's unexplainable in a sense that's a feeling, and that's why like now I just be and I have faith in a higher bit, like you, DJ, like I pray every time, like I pray every day, but the feelings that I feel is I feel like it's a natural thing. I was raised up in church and everything, but you have not like non-denominational Baptist, you have so many different things, but at the end of the day we got to ask ourselves, hey, what about the natural feeling of just being and knowing that there's something out, like it's nothing that can be, in my opinion, it's nothing that can be taught. It's nothing that can be taught besides the inner you just already knowing already, and then you apply it to something that might be similar or relatable to some way that you were raised, whatever the case may be. Yeah. But in the same sense, when you get back to just knowing that it's just that natural ability, and that's why it does say we're in God's image and we're God-like. We have the ability, like these things and stuff that we're empowered with. These things are natural. I feel very deeply, man. It's natural things that we have, and a lot of times we look out there and we look at religions and shit like that, and people get so mixed up around it instead of just simplifying it and being like, this is me just being and feeling these things and knowing that there's something out there. But me compared to universe, again, I'm so small, but I have so much ability to do so many things. Like, you know what I mean? That's that natural ability that I feel like that we have that can't be taught. Like, it's a natural thing. Nobody can teach you like, hey, go make connections with, like, it's going to be a thing that just happens. Like, you know what I'm saying? And you feel those things and you display those things. Like, you know what I mean? And that shit to me is God. Like, you know what I mean? That shit to me is, and if I would say, hey, do I believe? Yeah, I believe in God, but God is everything to me. God is everything that surrounds me every fucking day, man. Like, I see it. You see God's work in action every day. But the thing is we don't sometimes realize it because we're so used to these things. Like, we're used to seeing all these things like growing up. But then we realize that, hey, we take a step out our door and we see everything around us, or inside in relationships and everything that everything that we experience in life every day. And then we say, damn, that's God. God was that simple. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was right in front of me the whole time. You know what I mean? And I didn't have to make it so complex to get wrapped around anything, but just besides feeling the natural way and everything I got around me and seeing those things.
Yeah, man, and that's one thing that I intentionally try to remind myself to always do, and it becomes way more natural the more you do it. But I always really thank God, and like I said, to me mentally, when I picture God, I picture Jesus. You know what I mean? I picture Jesus Christ. That's for me. But that's
Yeah.
not what I like. Just because of that, I don't believe that that's the only possibility, and I also believe in everything else. But anyway, you know, when I fucking hit the brakes in time and avoided a wreck on the road. You know what I mean? When fucking, I'm in the garage and something falls over and I avoid fucking dropping a fucking dumbbell on my foot or something. Whatever the fuck the case is, man. Just those little quick, holy shit, thank God that didn't just happen. You know what I mean? I always try to fucking be in those moments where I'm like, I always imagine God, like Jesus sitting next to me. I go, thanks a lot for that one. And I always picture him going like, you're welcome, man. You're welcome for that one. That would have really fucked you up. You know what I mean? That's how I imagine like Jesus cursing at me all the time. You know what I mean? But and for the small things too, it's like when I get it every night when I get to watch my daughter walk up the fucking stairs with her Minnie Mouse fucking stuffed animal, and I get to fucking put her in her bed every night. You know what I mean? And I thank God for those that I get to do that every fucking night. You know what I mean? And I know, so like we talked about before, I unfortunately know so many fucking dead people, that aren't here. And I am, and you know. I shouldn't be, and you have to appreciate all of those moments, man. The moments when things are just so small but amazing, and at the same time, those moments that you just barely avoided something horrible from fucking happening.
So do we and I'm like, all right, so the people that believe like something totally different, but they experience the same joy off of whatever they believe in, what do you think about that? Or what do y'all think about that? It might not be the same thing you believe in, but it keeps them going and keeps, I mean,
Well, that's the question I pose too. I pose the exact same question. Like me, say I'm a Christian. I'd say I'm a Christian, and a Muslim, and a Buddhist, and a Hindu. Uh, we all live the exact same kind of life, but we're all just call ourselves different religions. But we all live the same life of honor and respect and integrity and compassion and love and forgiveness and all these fucking virtues and everything like that. We all live our lives the way, but we're all different religions. Do we all believe that all everyone else is going to go to some kind of hell and only us get to go to? I don't believe that, man. I believe that, like I said, there's a universal fucking good or a positive and a universal negative. There is good and there is evil. There is bad and good. And I truly believe that. And there's those of us that are very good and those of us that are very bad. And everybody else falls somewhere in between there, regardless of what you label yourself as. You know what I mean? Because we're all fucking human beings and we're all here, man. And we all occupy the same earth and shit. So it's regardless of what you call yourself, man, that all has to fucking play out in reality. And whatever you choose to do with that reality, you either do fucking good shit or bad shit. And that all ultimately comes down to you, regardless of whatever name you call God.
I want to hear more about maybe what you guys think about why guys don't succeed when they get out.
I could definitely chime in on that. And
Yeah, for sure.
it goes, again, man, it goes back to me. I don't think a lot of people, they're so used to, you got to think about it, man, in the Marine Corps, in the military in general, you know what I'm saying? It's like one of those things, you go do your thing, you train, you pretty much go to your job every day, and it's a guaranteed paycheck, it's a guaranteed lifestyle and everything like that. A lot of people join really young. Some people join a little bit older, but mostly everybody's pretty young when they join. They're used to being around an environment where, you pretty much get told everything. You go as a unit. When you're in the barracks, you sleep in the same, you wake up, you do the PT. It's a routine every day. I feel like personally, when a lot of people get out, again, I feel like they lack a lot of, and I ain't gonna say majority, but I'll say a good amount of people, first of all, they lack like the purpose and also the lifestyle that was pretty much, again, every day you go do this, you do that.
Regimented.
And now you can experience when you're in the Marine Corps, you live almost two different worlds. You go to work, you're surrounded by all these things, and it's just a whole different environment. And you go back outside and stuff, and it's a whole different environment when you're around civilians. But I feel like when people get out, they're used to that lifestyle, definitely used to being pretty much taken care of the whole time. And again, I feel like the main thing is, again, they feel like even with their purpose and stuff, you being a Marine is a big fucking deal, definitely to a lot of people. And whether, you're a motivator or you're just somebody that got by, again, that's still that same thing. Whether you realize it then or when you get out, it really hits you in your face because you're like, man, when I was in the Marine Corps, you know what? I stood for something, blah, blah, blah. And when they get out, it's like, again, with self-doubt, all the doubts of what ifs, what
think about
ifs
this
going to
too,
happen, the
man.
possibilities that may happen and stuff. Is everything going to go the way I plan? Like questions in their mind and shit. And then again, they play on those thoughts and stuff, and it brings like a lot of negativity. And again, then dealing with the inner demons of if they were dealing with a lot of trauma and all these mental issues or physical issues, and them not being able to adapt to a job that somebody else may have the ability to do and stuff. Like, I feel like all of that shit ties in. For me personally, the transition was a lot easier. And I want to say that's just because when I got out, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do in college, but I knew that was my next step to get a paycheck. I'll put it that way. I knew I was going to get covered by the GI Bill at that time. So I'll go to school to provide for the crib, to pay the bills and shit. And when I was in there, like I said, shit just hits you sometime. Then I start realizing, hey, I want to do the best that I can and be the best student I can. As cheesy as it may sound, I want to fucking be great at what I'm doing and learn everything that I didn't, learn everything that I didn't learn in the core of a different aspect. I did learn training wise and connections, but I want to learn something different. And then from that, I kept going. So my transition personally became easy because I did those steps. But talking to somebody who may have got out, had kids, they don't want it, or they did college, that didn't work out. Like, there's so many aspects of, I found, I guess, a purpose in that. Going to school, I felt like that was my purpose at the time. And like you mentioned, Kevin, at the beginning of the conversation, I used the Marine Corps to give me that, give me more of that drive to keep me going in the direction instead of just saying, hey, this is it for me. The Marine Corps was my highest accomplishment in life. I used those things to keep me going and pushing forward, and inspiration I get from talking to guys like you or people that I met along the way. But yeah, I think that's me personally, one of the hardest things I feel like people, got to face. You mentioned when you got out of those gates, you look back like, damn, like, do I really want to leave this place? It can be for the reason of connections, or it could be for financial stability. It can be for a lot of fucking things. And on top of that, if you're dealing with depression and you're dealing with fucking marital problems and all that shit, it's going to be a tough pill to swallow and a hard transition for you. DJ, I know you talked to a couple people that's going through a lot of, they've been out for what, like at least 3 years, plus and stuff like that, man, and still going through it. Kevin, we know a lot of people. We won't mention names and stuff. We know people that's doing good, and we know people that's not doing so good. And when I went to hike, I realized that a lot. They still made it, but some people are doing fucking shitty versus some people are doing good and stuff. And I feel like that's a highlight of the moment when we all connect, when we have connections. But I feel like the transition for them, is, obviously it was a tough pill to swallow, and they may have let alcohol, whatever the case may be, they let things drag them down, or realizing that a lot of these people had problems before they even got out. Like these things are already happening. Then they got on top of that. Now they're dealing with some more problems and shit. Man.
Yeah.
Well, and another thing too with what I think a lot of guys, because a lot of our experience is guys getting out because they deal with a lot of stress because of anxiety and trauma and shit like that, because we actually fought the war. But there was also the vast majority of people who get the fuck out that didn't. Because we forget, like the Marine Corps is what, less than 1% of the population, but even amongst the fucking military, people who fucking fight, who actually go to combat are like fucking less than 1% of the whole military. You know what I mean? So, we're the small fraction of the small fraction. The vast majority of the military doesn't experience combat, and they still get the fuck out and experience a lot of the same shit that we do. A lot of the same alienation and same abandonment, regardless if they went to combat or not. A lot of people, I would say most people feel that way than guys deal with PTSD. Because that's the majority of the military. You know what I mean? People who haven't gone through combat. So I think that for people like that who haven't experienced trauma, that still struggle when they get out, you got to think that, you got to remember, man, like you weren't allowed to let your life get fucked up. You know, your section leader, your crew chief, your fucking squad leader, they were responsible. I mean, if you were having marital issues, if you're having car problems, you know, you couldn't get car inspections for the weekend. You couldn't pass Liberty fucking limo plans and shit like that. You know, I mean, literally, if you know your command, excuse me, if your command, if your unit had to hold your hand through whatever situation, be it marital or personal, all the times we had to go to motherfuckers' houses to you know fucking get shit because they just got NJP'd and were on restriction. And their fucking wives were, you know, banging boyfriends, or they had bounced out on them, or their house was just completely all fucked up. You know, I mean, just all kinds of shit, man. You know, but fuck, where was I going with that? I completely just fucking mentally took a dive. Where was I going? Fuck.
I'll
Thanks,
say,
guys.
Why do
Nice
people have a
assist.
hard time transitioning out of the Marine Corps?
Shut the fuck up.
I remember,
I completely took off, dude. That one just went right. Literally, I was on the path and then just straight the fuck off. Oh man.
I remember being in a bar. I guess I was about maybe 6 months out, somewhere around there, and I was with my buddy from 1-6, who's a
Go
contractor.
take my god to sleep.
Okay, I'll talk to Brandon. Fuck you.
Shut up.
Get out of here.
Get the fuck out of here. No, but I was
Get the fuck out of here.
the fuck out of here. I was with my buddy who was a contractor. You know, we were out at a bar, and I forget. I think we had we used to have this sweet vet hat night where we wear these fucking stupid ass fucking like the old Marine Corps style, Second Marine Division hats. You know, whatever. You know, like the old people wear when they're in like yeah, the big old fucking hats. So, you know, we're sitting there fucking bullshitting, playing pool and everything, and this fucking, I mean, we basically invited her to say something with having our fucking little vet hat night or whatever. We were just fucking around. But we're out there smoking, and this older lady comes up to me, and she's like, talking to me and my buddy, she's like, "Thank you for your service." And I was like, I didn't do anything for you, so please don't thank me for my service because I didn't give a fuck about you. You know, I was just being honest, you know, because I mean, at what point were we over there going, I hope fucking Susie's having a great time at fucking Kenny's pub right now.
Not never, man.
That's what I tried to tell her. I was like, you know, I appreciate your comment, but at the same time, I don't really like your comment because I didn't do anything for you. I was like, you know, at the end of the day, I did everything for the brother to my left and to my right. And it wasn't about a country. It wasn't about a flag. It wasn't about any of that shit.
Right.
It was about the brother to my left and my right. I was like, and we fucking survive, you know, for the most part, obviously, minus Sean. But I was like, you know, I didn't do anything for you, so I don't want your thank you. She like got really pissed off. She got really fucking pissed off at me. She's like, you're a fucking asshole. And I was like, well, I can understand how that might have came off as being an asshole, but I'm being honest.
Right.
I was like, probably being brutally honest to you, but I'm being honest. I was like, I appreciated your comment, but I didn't do anything for you. And I don't think that the majority of the military did anything for fucking you either. And she got all upset and everything. And, you know, looking back on it, I'm like, she was just some innocent old lady that wanted to, you know, show her appreciation and everything. But at the end of the day,
man,
I was like,
I get that all the time, man.
I don't like it, man. I don't like it.
Man, you talked about this actually. You know, that happens often where people was like, you know, if I told them, you know, I'm a Marine or whatever, and I did 8 years, and if it got to that conversation, which usually I don't ever even bring it up, like talking about it, but if it got to the, like, usually I'm always like, you know, hey, it's funny, I always like, thank you just for being you, because in my mind, I just never took it like that, man, because like you just mentioned, when we were over there and stuff, we wasn't thinking about none of this shit, you know what I mean? To them was the big purpose of, and I feel like, bro, you know, honestly, it almost becomes like a popular thing to say, you know, thank you for your service. You know
like
what I'm saying?
Cliche, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's very cliche, and it becomes a popular thing to say over and over. Hey, thanks you for your service, and you know, most times like I'm most time like, appreciate it and stuff. But there's been a couple times I'm like, it's all good. It wasn't because like to me again, man, it was never for my country, man. It was for you guys, bro.
Yeah.
And it's totally from the heart, man. And it may sound any kind of way or somebody may take it any kind of way, but it's the fucking truth. And I joined the Marine Corps based on patriotic reasons. I joined the Marine Corps because I needed, a job that was guaranteed, man. And
Right.
funny as it may sound, it's just the truth. I came from Virginia, and the employment rate there was shitty in the sense of there's a lot of temporary jobs and everything, man. But I wanted to do something, and I knew if I was going to join the military, in my personal opinion, hey, I'm gonna join the Marine Corps, which is the best branch, and I'm gonna join that. But it was all for the reasons of, I can get in here, I'll get away from my small town, and I'll have a guaranteed paycheck, and like all these things. But then little did I know, obviously I knew that I'm probably gonna deploy because it was the time frame of the war, But besides my bad. Besides that, bro, I got in there and everything, and like it was never for to look at it like I'm actually going to put my life down for my country. And I never looked at it, but it was like when I made those connections and those friendships already with you guys and everybody, I was like, honestly, man, I was like, damn, man, fucking going over here. And I know to a lot of people, like definitely you guys, hey, man, I'm going to war and I'm fighting, and like all these things. To me, I was like, man, fuck, man, it'd be kind of cool to stay in Myrtle Beach and start partying and shit too. You know what I mean? But for real, man, I went because I love the same people I party with. I love you guys, and I went there, and that's all it was to me. We did do things that better. I guess everything in the long run, and depending on how you look at it, but it was more about again the brotherhood and the friendships and stuff. So when somebody says that now, and thanks for your service, it's not like I show them off. I'm kind of like, man, little do you know, for me personally, I was doing this for my own reasons to kind of like, have a lifestyle and stuff. But I ended up fighting for you guys because I'm in a unit and I love my brothers and I'm fighting for them. I'm not going to like bitch out because I love you guys. And obviously I knew that I was going to take that chance by going in the time. I'm not going to like sign something that I'm not committed. I'm not a person like that. But then again, to most people, they'll like look at a person, like one of us maybe and be like, oh, they must have joined because they want to like fight for the country and put their life down and stuff. And to me, it was never about that, man. It was so much more deeper than that.
Yeah, man, and that is the vast majority of us. You know what I mean? And there's very rare people, not a whole hell of a lot of guys, especially Marines, um, were in the Marine Corps because they had a deep sense of patriotism. You know what I mean? I'd say that a lot of people, I would say all of us were patriotic on some level. You know what I mean? But I would say the vast majority was, little to damn near none patriotism. I would say the most of the guys, specifically a lot of the fucking Marines that we served with, wanted to join the fucking Marine Corps because they wanted to go fucking kill people. You know what I mean? And that was like one of the main reasons that we really wanted to go is wanted to go fight the fucking war. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Is go fucking fight the war, which is a very normal and fucking reason. I mean, that's why you join a lot. And anyway, you know, and even saying that, even joining up and being for each other, regardless of our personal reasons, being in the Marine Corps, especially post 9/11, and especially to people whose fucking families have been affected by the war, what we represent and what we are a part of to civilians, especially those whose lives have been affected by the war, man, it's really something that those who are truly grateful have a struggle with. Like how do I show my grateful how grateful I am and my appreciation, with beyond saying thank you for your service, because a lot of people, especially when fucking Gold Star families, who've lost service members, and when when it's unfortunately very fucking false to a lot of people. Oh, thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. And, especially when it comes from Hollywood and the NFL and how patriotic and support the fucking troops and all that bullshit that people fucking just say and do because that's what's cool and appropriate to say and do. Like you could, I would like to think I can tell when someone's a fucking false, in dis, uh, uh, uh I forget what the word, but a false piece of shit. I think I can point out fake, you know,
Fake news.
gratitude, fake gratitude.
Yeah.
Opposed to real gratitude. You know what I mean? So
I guess what it does, though, is I guess to me it's not more so of them saying it, but I guess it's almost a reflection of myself and just knowing that I didn't never even thought about nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's what it is.
yeah, but that's
It's
still you're still that part to them, man. You still
And
to them
I
are part of it.
understand that. I understand I'm that part to them, but I'm saying personally, automatically, the feeling that I get is not like I want to like snatch them up or anything like that, but it's just me personally. Is like to me, is like, damn, like reflecting back, it's like, man, I joined for none of reason, like, you know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
Like for me personally, man, it's like I don't want your thank you. Like honestly, I don't like deep down inside, I don't want anyone to come to me and be like, oh, thank you.
So weird.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, it's weird, and number two, like I was telling Brandon, man, like I don't like
No, you. Why don't you like that? Like, why don't you want anyone telling you thank you? Like, why?
That's a really good question, but I just feel like it's like I feel like it's like self-righteous. You know what I mean? Like I feel like you're basically like fucking putting me on like some type of pedestal. Like I'm a regular fucking dude. You know what I mean? Like I put my pants on the same way as anybody else does it.
What would you do if you met a World War II vet? Just out like right now.
I buy them dinner all the time. Yeah, I understand.
And you would genuinely appreciate what they fucking did, and you would look at them with reverence and admiration.
Yes, yeah, no, without a doubt. Yeah, I admit that. It's why I'm kind of conflicted. But me personally, like, I don't know, man. Like, I want to be left alone. You know what I mean? Like, I really don't know how else to put that. But like, I don't like that's why I don't like. The only thing that I have like Marine Corps wise that like I ever got with, I have a sticker that Robin gave me on my truck. But other than that, like I don't even like to project the fact that I was even in the fucking Marine Corps. Just I don't know why I don't like it, but I just don't like it. Like I said, I feel like it's like self-righteous, and it probably goes back to like the whole idea of like defining your life off of the Marine Corps. Like
you harbor something, man. You have something that you're holding on to that I think is preventing you from, I don't know, there's something that's like I said, holding you back from feeling a certain way, man. Like I feel like
and it might have to do with the aspect
the
of
Sean thing,
feeling
man.
guilt
It might
for
have to do with
Sean's
the
death.
Sean thing.
I can't. Yeah, I mean, I can't tell you what it really is, but
yeah,
like I feel extremely uncomfortable when someone. It doesn't happen often. It hasn't happened in a long ass time, but when someone comes up to me and says thank you for your service, like I don't feel anything when when someone says that. You know what I mean? Like I just don't feel anything. It doesn't like it means nothing to me as a person. And
honestly, man, you don't realize how much you as a person don't realize how big of a deal it was. That's why when people say it to me, it's kind of like I'm not that I'm gonna say this in a jokerly way, but I'm always like, damn, I was in the Marine Corps. Shit, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, but
you
because
take
it
for granted.
To me,
man.
it was like it's just a thing that we did, like but to them, it's so significant, and to me, it's kind of like more so, like I said, man. I mean, everything that we went through in the good and the bad. I mean, I don't know, man. It's like one of those things you said, Kevin. It's kind of really hard to explain. It's not that I hate it, but almost like I'm like, damn, am I even worthy of I guess somebody saying thank you for your service kind of thing.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying?
That's it. Because you carry around okay, so I'll try to describe it with what I went through. I mean, you carry around, and I carried around so much guilt, and I hated myself so much. I wasn't worthy of other people's thanks. Like, I'm not worthy for you to thank me. You shouldn't thank me. I fucked up. I made mistakes. I was responsible for fucking this. You shouldn't be thanking me, you know? That was a lot of shit that I felt, and I think that might kind of narrow it down a little bit. You got to forgive yourself, genuinely forgive yourself for a lot of shit that you think you might have been responsible for, you know. And that comes a lot with putting shit in the past, man. That comes a lot with putting shit in the past and letting shit be, you know.
But see, but to me, it's not like on to anything. It's just like there was a chapter in my life, and now I'm like fucking. And I know it sounds crazy, I'm saying like yeah, but it's just the honest truth. Like I'm like yeah, there was a chapter in my life, and I appreciate you saying it. But I mean, not that I forgot anything or anything I went through, but it's like I'm already past like anything like that. So it's not like when they say, "Hey, thank you for your service," I'm taking it like me personally. I'm not taking it any kind of way. It's just like my I guess personally, I was like, "Oh yeah, hey, appreciate it." You know what I mean? Because there was a chapter for me personally, and now it's like I'm almost moving on with that. But for somebody to say that, it's almost like again, like I don't know if I'm worthy of it, but not because I'm really holding on to anything. If that makes sense, you know what I'm saying? It's just I feel like I did that and I made great. It was a great experience, good and bad times and stuff. But for you to say thanks for, I guess I don't even realize what really did I do. I know I did a lot. I mean, if that makes sense, what really did I do in a sense? You know what I mean? It's all about when somebody says to me like. I had a conversation, for instance. I'll try to make it long story short, but there's a guy at the bar, and he was like saying to Marine, he's like, "Do you realize how?" He was basically saying, "Like, you realize how much opportunity you got, and how big of a deal it is to fight your country, and look at the percentage of people that could have joined the Marine Corps and didn't." He's like, "No matter why you joined, you still join." Because that's what I was telling him. I was like, "Yeah, man, but I didn't join for this thing." He's like, "It doesn't matter. Like, but you being able to do that out of percentage of people who has never served in the military in general, and definitely the Marine Corps, nonetheless, do you really realize that?" And I guess in my mind, when I started thinking about what he was saying, I was like, damn, I did get the Marine Corps for 8 years, and I kind of like reflect on some of the stuff we did. But if I ain't talking about it, and the conversation never came about in the bar like that, and for him he kept emphasizing on it, and I could tell he was passionate about thanking me for it and everything like that. But he had to almost remind me of like, damn, what we did was so significant. I mean, what we did was very, it was very important. We did do some important stuff, but I guess I keep on reminding myself of like almost like a camp that you was in and shit.
What,
Like
all the dumb shit we did? All the fucked up shit we did? Said all the fucked up shit we did and all the dumb shit we used to fucking do?
Yeah, and that's the kind of stuff I guess I be thinking about. But then you think for like the important shit that we did too. You know what I mean? It's like a lot of things. Like Kevin, remember I was telling you about when we was talking on the phone about the weapons cache. I mean, DJ leading the squad. I mean, like think about it. Big responsibilities in a place that you're very likely can die and shit. You know what I'm saying? But I was thinking more of like, damn man, what can you make out of that MRE? Like this shit crazy, you know what I mean? Doing an electric slide out in Afghanistan and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I guess those times helped us get through it all and stuff. But those are I guess the things I reflect on more so than the importance of being a Marine, the importance of everything that we did, but not even realizing it at the time and shit, man. It's crazy.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you just got to think about it, man. Just think about 50, 60 years from now, and all the things that can happen in that amount of time. Because just look at the way we look at World War II vets and Korea vets, Vietnam vets, man. I mean, we literally will look at them because they were a huge part. They were a significant part of the history of our lineage, man.
Yeah, no,
I mean, literally.
I agree. I'm not sitting here saying I'm not proud of it because it's entirely not the case.
I know you're not saying that. I know.
But I guess what I'm saying is like, within the past, what is it now? Fucking 15, 16 years that the Marine Corps has been in Afghanistan.
Since 2003. So,
yeah, well, 2001, right?
No, 3. No, yeah, you're right. 1.
Yeah,
we did go into 1. Yeah. No, 2.
Yeah. Well, I met a fucking Okay.
2002.
So 2002. There's not a civilian has not had to change a single thing about their life.
Yeah. No.
In the past, 16 plus years. Even though we've been in Afghanistan for fucking 16 years. So I guess maybe it falls on deaf ears for me, just because I don't know, man. It's just like I just don't. I don't know. I don't want the thank you. You know what I mean? Like it just does not register in my mind of like a good thing for me. Like, oh, thank you for your thank you. Like I just don't.
I'll tell you which my dad always says to me all the time. He's like, he always calls me hero. My dad does, like all the times. He's like, "What's up, hero?" But to him, it is and I know it's my dad, but I'm saying to him, it is a huge thing like it is to some other people. But to me, it's almost like a kind of like whatever thing. But in the end of the day, it's like I'm not being pissed off at him or anything like that. It just doesn't hit me like that. I'm just kind of like, almost like a whatever factor. Like, I mean, not whatever, but like, okay, cool kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Think about it really in depth, like to be
you,
like kind of, hey, yeah, I appreciate it, man. Like, yeah, I don't know.
when someone calls you a hero, I mean that's something. I mean, I get, but that's your dad. But if someone else was doing it, it's like, look, motherfucker, please don't. But that's your dad. You know what I mean? He should, and he probably and is probably proud of you more than anything else, man. You know,
Yeah,
because what
yeah,
we
and it's not
did
like
was
I'm saying please
significant. You
don't.
know,
It's just like again,
so
it's hard for me to. It's just hard for me to realize all the things that why would he call me that? But it's not like I'm saying to anybody like don't do that. It's just hard for me personally to realize it because again,
yeah, like what
yeah,
Kevin's saying, man, and it's because you got what I would do or what I would suggest is try to really just stop and appreciate it, man. Just appreciate it for what it is, for stop whatever apprehension that is, man, because, I mean, literally just think about that. Like because I did genuinely feel, Kevin, that you really genuinely don't want to be thanked. You know what I mean?
No, I don't.
Yeah, and that's so unfortunate, man. I'm not saying you should want people to come up and thank you. I am not saying that. What I am saying though is you shouldn't fucking not want it. I'm not saying you should want it,
be
but
right
you
back.
should also not want it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
So,
it's just like I said. It's not that I'm not proud of it,
yeah,
but it's
but
just
when you're saying like you don't want, I mean, if someone comes up to you and says thank you, you get like a you're don't thank me, you know what
yeah.
I mean?
You know, I don't know. I can't really explain it, but I'm just like I said, man. Before, like I just
It's
want to be left
weird.
alone. It's
Yeah.
weird. It's
No.
weird for me. When my kids grow up and they ask me about it, I'm gonna, tell them everything, I did it,
That's even
and I'll
weirder,
and I'll
man.
be proud about it, and I'll tell them, that, this is what Daddy did or whatever. But I mean, at the end of the day, I just don't. I don't know. I kind of feel like it's maybe self-righteous. I don't even know if that's the right word because it's not. But
It's not.
I don't know.
But in
I feel really fucking weird about it. And not to downplay your comment, but I think the comparison between World War II vets and Korea vets is kind of a different. It's good. I think it's a different aspect because in World War II, the entire fucking nation was behind the fucking war. You know what I mean? Like if you were not in the war, you were making parts for the war. And if you weren't making parts for the war, you were rationing your food for the war. You know what I mean? And like I said before, like no one has had any stock in the war in Afghanistan for 16 years if they haven't had a family member. It has not changed a single thing about their life in the past 16 years. So to me, it's just maybe it's kind of superficial. I don't know.
you're assuming that like everyone who thanks you, you're assuming that it's superficial.
Yeah, that may be.
You know what I mean? Like, because you're talking about how most of the fucking America they have to change their lives or anything like that, and you're right. I completely 100% agree with that. But that doesn't mean it's still a significant fucking people did, and a significant amount of people were. Because yeah, we've been fighting for fucking however fucking umpteen years, and that's a lot of service members. That's a lot of service members' families and friends that have been affected by. So that is a lot of people. And yeah, I feel the exact same way, man. When you get thanks, especially when you still have inner demons that you got to work out with in regards to your military service. You know, um, it's what in my experience so far, man. It's been really, really fucking. It's helped out just to let it go, man. Like I 100%. I appreciate it with people who I think people genuinely appreciate service. And like I got a bunch of civilian buddies out here, not a bunch, but a handful of civilian buddies that never served ever. Guys that are my age and a lot older. It's a real fucking I forget the word I want to use, but it's a very prideful and like manhood type issue, you know, when you're talking to a bunch of civilian guys that are our age and older who didn't serve and didn't go to war, you know, and they genuinely fucking appreciate what you did, man, you know. And
Yeah,
that's been weird. That's been really fucking weird because you're like, fuck, dude, you're like in your 40s or your 50s, or because I have buddies who are significantly older than me, guys that are my friends that are very much 10 plus, 20 plus, 30 plus years older than me. And it's very, very weird when you're the youngest guy in the room by a lot. And most of the other guys fucking, thank you for your service. You know what I mean? And in one way or another, appreciate what you. It's just, it is. I feel the exact same way you do. It's strange. You know?
yeah. I guess really deep down, it's just I kind of feel what I did was insignificant.
Yeah.
Not that what we did as a squad or as a platoon was insignificant, but I guess I feel like my role, personally, like on a personal level, was insignificant, and I can't look back on anything, and well, but that's the way I feel. You know what I mean? Like I can't look back on anything I did and be like, oh, you know what, that was great of me to do this or that. You know, just I guess I feel, that everything like I said, everything I did was fairly insignificant. I was basically just fucking doing a fucking job, and probably not the best that I could have done. But I don't know, man.
Like there's such a negative perspective to have on it, man. Like I mean, you're literally viewing everything through like this judgmental perspective or lens, man. You know, and for me personally, I would really strongly suggest to just try to consciously and intentionally look at it differently. Change your perspective. You know what I mean? If you look back on a point in time in your life and you wish you felt a different way about it, well, think about it a different way. You know, I mean, truly. You know, I mean, don't think about your role as being insignificant, which it wasn't. You were extremely significant because not only were you extremely loved by everybody, you know what I mean? I mean, regardless of what you say about things with, like, I don't know anybody who didn't like you. You know what I mean? Everybody fucking loved you. I mean, we were all really tight, but everybody fucking loved you, man. And everyone still fucking does. You know what I mean? And you were a very reliable crew chief. You were a very fucking efficient fucking Marine, and you brought, you made everyone else happier, man. And you were on top of that, you were a fucking good Marine, which made the unit better, which made the unit stronger, and when you look back on your experiences and the things you were part of and the relationships we had, and you look back on that with this negative like judgment of like, I need to judge my significance somehow instead of appreciating the relationships we had and the times that we did share. You know what I mean? Think about it along those lines and remember it like that instead of comparing your whatever standard you're applying to yourself, you know?
Sure, I think by nature I'm a more negative type person. So I always look back on the things that I didn't do right, or so the things that I did do right.
Change that.
Yeah, I mean it's a character flaw, right? I mean,
change that.
I always look back on hell, it's like the fucking last firefight we got into, where I fucking exchanged rounds with the guy before Marshall had popped that court with his fucking 100-round fucking saw burst. I mean, I had that dude's fucking face in my fucking Chevron and my fucking RCO, and I've thought about this almost every single fucking night, and I always thought that was like a failure of mine, that I didn't fucking take care of business in that situation. That can be attributed to a lot of different things, but I've always been negative in those types of aspects. I've never really focused on the things that I did good on deployment. I've always been focused on the things that I could have done better on deployment. So I guess in that aspect, it would be a negative approach as to the way that I thought about how our deployment went and what I could have done better. And I think everybody I think can Monday morning quarterback all day long. But I dwell on, man, I fucking want it almost every single fucking night. Specifically that situation, the last fucking situation they were in. And I just fucking think about it, and I'm fucking flabbergasted as to how I didn't fucking, take care of business in that situation. But I guess what I'm saying is that, like you said, man, I focus on the negative shit a lot, and I allow it to eat me up. And I've attempted to not allow it to eat me up, but it does, it's easier said than done.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
And what I did when especially because being a stay-at-home parent, man, I've definitely had kind of ins and outs with depression, where you kind of go in these little, especially in the early days, when Gabe was born, when I went from one baby to two, anyway, but you know, what I would think about, man, and what I would really try to do is, if you're fucking thinking about all these negative things, and try to convince yourself and try to reason with yourself, really do. So, okay, I spend all my time fucking dwelling on the past. I do. I spend a lot of fucking time thinking about things I should have done. Okay, so how is that? How can I apply spending all that effort, or how can I justify to myself spending all that mental effort? Um, on what? Like, what is it doing? What is it producing? How is it making your life better? How is it furthering your life right now
It
by
does.
thinking about all that? You know what I mean? And it doesn't, unless you're thinking about it and literally learning something, like thinking about things you legitimately wish you would have done better, and legitimately applying those corrections into your life currently. So it's not that you need to stop thinking about the past so much, but legitimately look on your past and think about all the things that you wish you would have done or could have done or wanted to learn or whatever the case, and use all those. I didn't do this, I didn't do that, I didn't learn this, and use all those didn'ts and could'ves and should'ves and would'ves as motivation now to get shit done. You know what I mean? Which is what you've already been doing. Like, you've already stopped drinking during the fucking week. You know what I mean? And you're getting yourself fucking back into shape by working out more and all that shit. Like, so you're already doing it, and it's just, it takes a lot of work, and it's gonna fucking suck a lot, man. But like, for me, you have to. I changed. I knew I had to change the way I perceive the way I felt, and like my perspective on shit, and it's rough, man. It really is. But if you want it bad enough, you can do it. You know what I mean? And it's literally, if you're the kind of analytical motherfucker, like, literally lay out an argument to yourself, prove beyond a reasonable doubt, what good does spending so much negative energy about past thought, or about fucking, memories and shit like that.
Well,
How
see,
does
that's the
that
thing.
fucking,
I can't put in a PowerPoint, but if you're looking at a pros and cons chart, I can't put in a pros chart of all the things that I did well, but I can list a ton of shit that I did wrong. You know what I mean? Like, because to me, the things that I did well don't stick out in my mind. The things that I did wrong entirely stick out in my mind, and I think about
which
them
is
every
a
day.
good thing to a point. It's a good thing, because like I said, as long as you apply those corrections to what you're now doing in the future, learn from your mistakes. Do not make those same mistakes over again. As long as you learn from your past, as long as you learn from your mistakes, then they are useful. But if you continue to fucking make the same mistake over again, and you fucking continue doing the same shit, you're not fucking learning anything, and you're just repeating the same pattern over and over again, making the same motherfucking mistakes. You know,
This is true.
so I mean, it's and like I was telling you, like I was telling you, man, today when I was telling you, I was telling him he's at a point, he's at that fork in the road. You can either make choices that are going to take you down a road of drinking and depression and keeping you away from your children and your family, or you're going to make a fucking decision and go down a road that's going to lead you towards sobriety and getting your kids back and being happy and feeling good about yourself. And no one else is going to make this choice but you. And whatever you want to do more is what you're going to do. You know what I mean? And only you can do it. Nobody else. Nobody else. Just you. You know. And you know. I mean, he was getting real. I mean, of course, he was crying and everything. And you know, I mean, I wasn't giving him tough love, man. I was giving him a lot of encouragement, and genuinely so. I was telling him, this is it, man. This is an opportunity. This is that. This is life right now. This is God, the universe, whatever the fuck you believe in right now. You really want to fucking clean your shit up? You want to be a good man? You want to be a good dad? Here's an opportunity. Here's the fucking another opportunity. Here's a fucking chance to make a good choice. Here's a chance to make a good decision. And you got to take it or not. You either do or you don't, man. That's it. That's what it comes down to. Cheers, I'll cheers with my pen, man. That's it. Legitimately. Yao Ming.
Yeah, man, and in life in general, though, man, like I did hear you mention, because the negative voice is usually the loudest voice that we hear each and every day, man. Besides knowing, like, I guess for me personally, all the things that I have accomplished in life and the love that I got now with family and friends, and all these things that should be speaking to you the loudest is usually those things like, damn, how come I'm not here yet? Or how come I'm doing this when I wanted to be this way and that way and stuff, man? Like, those negative voices play on, I feel like, everybody a lot. And then it's your ability to take that and be like, okay, I can let this determine my whole life, my whole day, my whole life and everything like that. Because a lot of times, man, I'll just wake up and I'll be feeling a certain kind of way. And I don't even know where it came from. Like, nothing had to have happened to me the day before, none of that stuff. It's just I woke up feeling like shitty and then my mind automatically starts getting like overwhelmed with all these stressful thoughts and all the stuff that could happen that hasn't happened yet, and all these like these naysay things that's my own voice the whole time. And what I've been trying to do more when I have those days, I just kind of look at me like, man, okay, well, I did wake up, I'm alive, I got people around me that love me in my own personal life. I got stability right now at home, and everything like that is going good. And I take that, and instead of thinking about the things that I'm not doing right, I've been more so trying to just keep going, man, and leaving it out of my control. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of things, man, I would like to control my life that's going to be in the near future, and it's scary to think that it's not in my control at all. But then again, knowing that it's going to work out for the best way possible. I just can't live life every day thinking about, man, damn, like it didn't go this way and I expected it to, and now I'm like down on myself and I'm down on myself and everything like that. It's like you said, it's easier, so much easier said than done, and that's why I said I struggle with it still, man. And when those negative thoughts come and stuff, man, I feed on those, bro. I always feed on those negative. Like, it's almost like I'm addicted to thinking negative. Like, if I don't think negative throughout the day a couple times, then I feel like the day's not normal. Is how much I'm used to it, man. Like, for real, man. But when good things happen, like when everything's going good for the longest time, like your day's going amazing, the weeks, just everything's going good, you're like, man, something needs to happen. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm so used to thinking that you almost become addicted and to the darkness almost, man. Like you expect.
I used to call that self-destruct mode.
Yeah. You become addicted to those things and stuff. Then it becomes like like really much, out of our control, and everything becomes chaos around us and all these, all those things and stuff, man. But I don't know. It's a challenge every day, man. It's fucking every single time, and it's still kind of exciting to like not know what's going to be the next steps or not know what's going to happen that's going to alter everything that you thought that was going to be that big thing or whatever the fuck you think.
That's the adventure.
Yeah. It's pretty exciting to know, man, and stuff, man. So that's why I try to look at it day in and day out. Tomorrow I may be saying a whole different thing, you know what I mean? But that's just how life works sometimes. But for the bigger picture of everything seems to be just flowing together how it should be. And a lot of this stuff is things that I never thought about how it would be. You know what I mean?
You were just dabbing, weren't you?
What's that?
Did you just go dab just a little bit ago? Is that what you were doing?
Dab?
Did you go take a dab just a little bit ago?
What's that?
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, dude. No, but no, you're right though, man. No, I mean the things that isn't it fucking crazy? Just thinking of, I mean, when you just sit back and realize what the fuck that we're doing and the way life is working out, isn't it just fucking weird? It's crazy, man. You're right. You're so
Yeah,
right.
it's more so amazing. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's authentic. Like it's so and crazy is the word we use, but it's so much the way that it should. Like everything, you know, it feels right. That it should be, and that like again, man, like that we're now having this conversation literally right now and stuff, and that things are happening and people are brought in our life, and like you mentioned, like Kevin with your wife, like I can relate to both of you guys. Same with Lee, you know, if it wasn't for that, but in the same sense, we never predicted that. We may have predicted we'll end up with a family and this and that. We never predicted that we'll be in a situation, something tragic would happen while we're deployed. We come back and now we need this person to help us get through these things. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it would be the person that some would even least expect, because like some look at it like, oh yeah, your girl's getting through it or your wife's getting you through it. Or like, you damn right, you know, like they know the ins and outs. They really knows me. People like to put on facades, man, obviously, you know, and like I'm very much a different than that. So when a person knows me, I'm kind of like more so in your face, and they probably think this dude's kind of like this and that. But I don't put up shit like to be like, okay, I need to not show my emotions because I'm around people that may think of me a certain way because I'm showing my emotions or because I'm acting this way. You know, again, I just be, and that's how I feel like that connection comes with me. You know, like it's just I'm out there just like, you know, whatever comes. I don't want to have to put on an image for anything. Like, you know, what I'm
you're
saying?
a real person.
And I feel like people are connected to like when their wives, like, well, whoever like that helps them out because they really know them. Like, you know what I'm saying? They really know them. And a lot of people, they can't help them. Like, they may have thought they were this way, but completely, totally, like, you know, completely opposite, man. When they lay down, they think about it, it's like, damn, you know, and it makes them happy at the time because a portion of it is kind of, I guess, who they are, but it makes them happy at the time when they're hanging around these people. But then they really ask themselves, like, I guess I'll feel a certain way if I show or share my emotions this kind of way. But me, I'm more so definitely with you guys, but in general, man, I just live life. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. If I'm going to be in life, I'm trying to fucking live life, man. You know what I mean? And why not? You know, again, I say this and it sounds funny. One thing we all got in common is we all going to die. We all gonna fucking die. So why not live life and then live it to the fullest and shit, man? Like, and then really, when I say live life, really fucking live life and stuff. But not like live life entrapped with the thought of that I got to be this way or come off this way because people are going to perceive me this kind of way. Live life totally unenslaved and totally free-minded to think that, fuck, man, I can do all these things because that's just who I am. That's who Noel is. Like, you know what I'm saying? And
you're in your flow state right now.
The more and more I'm realizing that, man, the more and more I'm just feeling that and getting, you know, that sense of things, man, is really
feels
just
good.
It's helped me in ways that, you know, you can't imagine. But again, every day is a challenge, and you also every day, like I said, deal with those voices, boom, 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 this and that. But at the end of the day, man, it hasn't steered me wrong, and everything that we've been through. I'm talking about us and everything that I've been through. I don't know, man. I'm here still standing, and I don't know what tomorrow's gonna bring and stuff like that. But while I'm here, I'm honestly, man, like I really want to, like, this is what we're doing in the conversation that we have, and just so everybody knows, like I really want to do things to make an impact in a positive way or keep connections going or keep things flowing. And like, you know, when people bring up love nowadays, they look at it as like, oh, like love. Like, yeah, I'm actually saying it because like that is the strongest thing that can connect so many things in so many different ways and stuff. But it's like, again, it's so much in our face, but it's so far away because people perceive it as a certain way. I know I'm rambling, man, but it's so, man, all this stuff that's tying in with my path, and I keep saying me personally because I can't relate to nobody else's life or how they feel about things or how they take things and stuff. But everything that's going on with me in my life now and shit, man. You guys just, I mean, like all this stuff, man. It's again, it's flowing natural, and I feel like again, man, it's just for the greater and the better thing. But I'm just more so willing now to accept those things, I guess.
No, man, you're. See, fucking Kevin, that's what I call Brand when he's in his flow state. You know, what I call people who are experts, like master musicians or master athletes or whatever, they're in their flow state when it's just coming. That's when he has it, man. And we'll be on Marco Polo and he'll get in the sun and he'll get into his flow state. And it's great, dude, because he just gets like that where it's just bam, 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 bam. We should, I was thinking, man, a good thing to do is really do make small little 1 minute, however fucking long clips of the longer videos and throw those up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like these
definitely,
little
man.
like little short videos of that, like your little when you were just in your flow state, like make that however many, 2-3 minute long little fucking clip, and
Right,
fucking put
right.
those up, shit like that. You know what I mean?
Definitely, man. It's a well connection, man. It's from the heart and shit. Look at Kevin got the damn beanie on and shit. Go back.
Kevin looks tired and
Yeah, he's
drunk.
tired, man.
I'm fucked up. I'm
Are you
actually.
fucked up, Kevin?
What was you
Yeah.
drinking on, by the way? I know y'all asked me earlier, but I never did ask you, man.
It's called Summer Shandy. I know you guys got it down there, don't you?
I've never heard of that. What is it? I mean, was it got like a lime taste to it or something?
It's got a little bit of a lemon taste to it, but it's not. It mostly tastes like beer, but it's good.
Mostly tastes like beer.
I just realized I'm 16 deep right now, so
16?
yeah,
So you're pretty. You look drunk. You look drunk.
fucking drunk. I'm tired. I gotta go to church.
You about to go to church tomorrow too, right? Yeah, you
Yeah.
better. Yeah.
I think Jesus.
Yeah, man. I hear you, man. We'll definitely get some rest, man. I would definitely get some rest now if I was you, anyways. That way you can make it up for that shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna get ripped by my wife tomorrow, but it's a normal thing.
No, man. I think we had a real. I think it was worth it, dog. Like I really feel
yeah, no, for
our
sure.
conversation tonight was very, very.
Brandon, I'm gonna be down there 24th.
The 24th of March, right?
24th of March to the 30th. Whatever that next Saturday is. I think it's like 30th or 31st.
Well, yeah, man, we'll definitely get up. And like I said, I'm still keeping you in mind for like I said, I haven't forgot about the babysitter too, for we could all get out and shit too, man. I know that'd be cool.
Yeah, man, it'd be fucking sweet if you know somebody that can watch our kids and not beat them.
Yeah.
Be great. I mean, we could go out after they go to bed or whatever, because they go to bed at like around 8:30.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely figure it out. The main thing is we'll just link up and have a good time. I'm definitely looking forward to it, man. I don't think I have anything going on around that time in March. So it should be definitely dope, man, for sure.
Yeah, man. If you or Lee know anybody wants to babysit and make fucking, I don't know, around $10 an hour, let us know.
For sure, man. I'll definitely keep that in mind. And like I said, I have somebody in mind. I just got to make sure they're here around that time, because she does that on the side, and then she does like librarian and all that stuff work too. So
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, like I said, my kids go to bed at 8:30, so she'd basically be fucking condo sitting.
word.
Yeah.
Well, keep me. So y'all coming guaranteed on the 20. You coming down on the 24th?
Yeah, whatever that Friday is. I think it's the 24th.
Okay, cool. Yeah, just keep me in the loop prior to, man. Like I said, I shouldn't have anything going. I should be chilling. Did you mention something too about crashing the
Yeah, I was gonna try to crash the fucking Gator Ball. Just, I haven't been to fucking a Gator Ball since a long fucking time ago. I actually have never been able to drink at a Gator Ball.
Reed says you should go.
Yeah, well, so I haven't bought tickets or anything like that, but I mean, if you want to go and we can get a babysitter, then I'm fucking all down for going. If not, we can just get fucking drunk somewhere else.
Yeah, man, we'll definitely figure something out. Even if it's at the crib, cook or something, man, or anything, man. We'll definitely figure it out and have a good time, man. Just always connecting and stuff is gonna be good. But looking forward to. We had a ball last time you came, man. So I know it's gonna be dope.
Fuck, I'm jealous, assholes.
Yeah, I know. We need to
Shit.
plan like another. Yeah.
Fuck you.
Oh. But yeah, man. Well, shit. I guess I'll jump off too, man. Seems like everybody's closing it up and stuff, but you gotta stay blessed, man. And for real, stay positive. It's always good talking to you guys, man. For sure. It's
too, man.
Make sure you don't edit that part out.
I'm going to edit that part out because, yeah. No.
All right, guys. I'll talk to y'all, man.
All right, brothers. Love y'all. Out.
Always, man. Peace.